Welcome, Power Nation, to the inaugural The Anchor podcast with Dr. Brandon Hubbard. This podcast is intended to keep you informed and anchored in what's happening in the Chilton ISD. Listen, for our inaugural podcast, we have with us the one, the only rapper, musician, producer, preacher, Ahmad Washington with MovementUP. Thank you, Brother Ahmad. Thank you for being here with us on this podcast.
For sure, man. Appreciate y'all having me. Definitely honored to be a part of the inaugural episode, you know what I'm saying? And so just, again, appreciate the opportunity to invite, to be able to just have some conversation with you.
That's it. Yeah. So, Ahmad, we know that you are the founder, executive with the MovementUP organization. We also know that you're a graduate of Baylor, bachelor's, master's, sick embarrassed.
Sick embarrassed.
So just tell us a little bit about yourself and how this thing came about, MovementUP.
Yeah, man, born and raised in Houston. Honestly, grew up in a single parent household, experienced a lot in terms of domestic violence and things of that nature. So, and was blessed to make it out of that by the grace of God and by the care and concern and engagement of other adults who didn't always know what was going on, but they poured into my life and added some value to help me to keep moving forward. And eventually got to Baylor, played football there, enjoyed my time, got a bachelor's and master's in social work as well as a master of divinity. So definitely a great time there, but during the course of being there, just, have always had a heart for young people. When I got to Baylor, I thought I was going to be a pediatrician. So they was like, man, what's your career path? I was like, pediatrics. And when I took that first pre-med class, it touched me some kind of way that let me know that wasn't the path. And so went on a journey in different fields of study and landed on social work. Because just really wanted to serve young people in a way that would take into consideration both their own personal choices, but also understanding that the environments that you grow up in can either nurture you and move you in a direction of purpose, or it can do something that can cause you to go the other way. And being a young person, when I was a young person, experiencing that tug of experiencing these things at home, but then those voices speaking into me. And so that was kind of the crux of it in terms of MovementUP, as far as like the core and the heart behind it. And I began to work for the Methodist Children's Home. And so while I was there doing some great things with kids, enjoying it, it just a thought occurred. We only have a limited number of beds here. And this was back in 2011, man, when I was doing this. And it was like, man, how many other kids would benefit from somebody engaging in their life at a certain point and being consistent, whether it was weekly or what that might look like. And so that began to birth the idea of MovementUP. And then once, God sent the revelation in 2012, it's actually, January 2012, when I had the idea of MovementUP, moving, when we think of moving up, we think of going in a positive direction, going higher, things of that nature. And so just that basic concept, I began to develop this program, which has continued to evolve into what it is today.
All right, man. Man, we appreciate, I know in Chilton ISD, the impact that you bring to our students and our staff. Having not the same story, but a similar story, growing up in a single parent home, growing up without my father, growing up in a situation where we didn't always have the most. I went to school with issues. I tried to cover up some of those issues, but I went to school with some issues. Sometimes not knowing how things were going to get paid, some of my other friends having money to do things, and I didn't. And so one of the things that I didn't have in school was somebody who would help me deal with those issues. But here in Chilton ISD, we have MovementUP, so that the issues that we come to work with, our students come to school with, we have somebody to help us work through those. Talk a little bit about your work here in Chilton and how you help serve, minister to the students and staff here in Chilton.
Man, first of all, I just want to speak about just how it's evolved, even just being a part of Chilton. Because initially the primary focus was student enrichment or serving young people.
Yeah.
And doing some of those things, whether it be school assemblies, small mentoring groups, or going to specific classes and talking to students, or talking to individual students that may be having a difficult time or going through some things. And then as a result of having those interactions with the students, I began to observe that there were teachers that were carrying loads as well, whether it was emotional, whether it was family stuff going on outside of here, that made it sometimes difficult to be as productive as those teachers wanted to be. And that began me really just searching in. All right, I'm serving the young people with these conversations, with these programs, with this content that I'm providing, whether it be lessons or curriculum that I develop to address issues. Like today I was teaching a fundamental leadership class to all of the class officers in middle and high school.
Yes.
And so, man, what can I do to serve the staff? And that's when I began to do research and find some research-based tools in order to utilize with the staff to help them level up, you know what I'm saying, their understanding of themselves, but also how that affects and impacts young people as you're trying to teach and serve them, to influence them, and to help them navigate life as well. Right. So a lot of conversations, man, around here, and it'd be surprised at stuff I know, but having those conversations. I had a student today tell me, like, man, at first I didn't know what to think about you, but I kept watching and you were always consistent. Yeah. And so, and I feel comfortable talking. This is a kid who's very introverted. Yeah. Didn't talk a lot to people, but because of consistency, having conversations, being a light in this place, being an encourager, bringing optimism and positive energy into this space, which you guys are already cultivating already, and adding to that. You know what I'm saying, has been awesome. And I just want to, even just encourage you, bro, the fact that you have had a vision for this school district. It's not my job to come in and to give a vision to a school or any place that I work with. It is my job to understand what your vision is, and then to figure out how I can support that with the students as well as with the staff. And because your vision was so clear, it made it easy for me to really identify, okay, like this, this is how I fit on the pirate ship. You know what I'm saying? And so it just and it worked out, and it's continuing to help this this district, I believe, be better. Students and staff and teachers and stuff. So
man, I'll say Chilton ISD. I don't make any apologies for it. We're a different district. Sure. We do things a little bit differently than most places. We want to make sure, as we say, that culture precedes academic achievement. And so much of what we want to do for our students and our staff and our community, education goes beyond academic performance. Right now, in this day and age, we are called to educate kids, but we're called to educate them in life. And help them be successful in life, not only in academics, but as they leave here and be successful citizens, be empowered citizens, have their voice and know how to use their voice. How has the MovementUP organization, how do you help students develop and use their voice and empower them to use their voice outside of these walls?
Man, part of it is really just having those conversations with students and helping them identify what their particular strengths are. What is it? Because I asked a question to a group of students. This was about 2 weeks. Actually, last month I did a session with some students, and I asked them, what is it about yourself that is amazing? What are your strengths? What is it that makes you special? And it was silence. And I usually will give it like the 2 to 3 minutes. Like I'm sitting there.
Wait time.
You know what I'm saying? Wait time. Get comfortable sitting in silence, right? Well, so then the next question I asked, what is it about yourself that you feel like is your weakness? Or what is it about yourself that you don't like? Man, hand shot up. You know what I'm saying? Like they can readily identify the stuff about themselves that is not good in their eyes or not a strength. And so, man, helping kids identify, because if I don't see I have any value that I can bring to an environment or a space that I come in, how can I be confident?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because part of engaging life and engaging the world is being confident.
Right.
Is being confident that I got something I can bring to the table and add value, whether I am an out front leader or whether I'm somebody who plays the background and knows how to support really well and undergird something that I believe in.
Right.
There's a space for everybody to show their superpowers, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. And so, you know, helping them identify that in those conversations. And then how does this knowledge that you're experiencing about yourself transfer to your world outside of Chilton ISD, outside of the academic environment?
Right.
So we will talk about relationships. We will talk about family stuff. We will talk about maybe a tough interaction they're having with a teacher that it's like, man, she just don't get me. Like, I tried it this way. And so, you know, so it's helping them translate the knowledge that is being learned in this environment to other areas of their life, and seeing that this is not just you know, just something they just throwing in my head just so I can remember this for this test and go on. But this is something that I can really use for my life. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that's where a lot of the conversations go with the students, and helping them translate their knowledge to real world stuff.
Definitely, man.
It's crucial.
So, you know, Movement Up is here. You're here once a week in Chilton ISD, serving, ministering to staff and students and whoever else show up.
Straight up.
So, we want to know what's next for Movement Up.
Man, right now, it is continued to develop more content for training teachers to be able to impact and influence students much more effectively. Because in a lot of the trainings, you know, it's focused on pedagogy and educational components, and I really have wanted to lock in on the things that will help teachers and staff connect in a way that not only impacts students but influences them in such a way where the voice of that teacher or that staff member has an honest seat at the table of that child's decision-making process, where something that teacher said or did has caused them to rethink a bad choice or a potential bad choice, or going in a direction that might not be so helpful for their lives, whether it be in their personal life or within some choice within the academic arena. So continue to develop content, but also to identify other school districts that I could partner with and bring some value to and help add to the vision that they have. So definitely looking around at some. Not leaving Chilton.
Definitely.
Chilton is the spot, baby.
He anchored in Chilton.
Yeah, I'm anchored in Chilton. And so, but yeah, just, you know, partnerships that make sense. You know what I'm saying? Just like this one was nothing but, you know, and dare I say, you know what I'm saying, God breathed.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? God inspired over this thing to where it has always made sense.
Yes.
And it continues to make sense in terms of the amazing things that we are doing together as we partner Movement Up with Chilton ISD.
Definitely,
Yes,
definitely. Sir. And I'd shout out to I'd throw a shout out for Movement Up to any other district superintendent leader that's watching this. I would urge you to connect with Brother Ahmad and the Movement Up organization, so that we can make sure that the impact and influence of your educators is effective within your district.
Yes, sir.
So thinking about Chilton, what would you say is the most unique aspect that you've experienced during your time in Chilton ISD? What makes Chilton ISD different than most other places?
Man, honestly, the two things that stick out to me the most are the clarity of the vision and the cultivation of the community culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, those things really stick out to me, that you know what it is that you're, you know, feeling led to do within this community, and you have communicated that in such a way to the people who serve here and who are part of this community that it just comes out in interactions and engagement. Not, you know, people ain't perfect, you know what I'm saying? Stuff happens and people had their days, you know what I'm saying? And so, but for the most part, it's like it is a feeling of community. It is a place where kids it's obvious they feel safe. It's obvious that they feel supported.
Yeah.
They have to work hard to find a reason not to like this place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the kids gonna find a reason. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who you are or how good the space is. They're gonna find something they don't like. But that's just part of being young, right? That's just part of being wanting other things in life, right?
Yes.
But yeah, man, I would just definitely say, man, the vision and the community culture that is cultivated and nurtured in various ways, whether it be through, you know what I'm saying, the Fridays dancing down the hall, you know what I'm saying?
Feel Good Friday,
man, or whether it be through a meal in the staff room, or whether it be through a Black History program, or, you know, things that help to continue to not only cultivate community within this campus or these campuses, but also with the families, you know, giving them every opportunity to be a part of the amazing things that are going on inside of this district, so that they don't have to feel left out or that they're in the dark about how this district is trying their best to serve their students, their young people at the highest level possible.
Right.
Yes,
man.
sir.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's
as
it,
they
bro.
say.
That's it, man. That's it, man. That's that fire.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, you know, as we come to the end of our broadcast and come to the close of our inaugural podcast, the Anchor Podcast, what inspiring words would you have for students or staff that are connected to this? You know, we all come, like I said, we come in with issues and baggage, and you know, we have to work in spite of and do serve in spite of. What would you say? What inspiring words could you give to someone just to help them, if they're watching, just to keep going and keep serving and operating in the role that they are in?
Wow. Man, the first thing that pops in my head, honestly, when you say that, is just a word to those that are serving in education. Like the teachers, administrators. It's so important, like, to always, like, remember your why, you know, and why you started it, why you continue to do it, and understand that as an adult in this space, in this industry of education, that you set the temperature.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You are the thermostat of that space. And just your voice tone, just the words that you use to converse or to engage a student can be the difference between them feeling hopeful or them feeling hopeless. And like each and every last adult in education, like, it's both an awesome responsibility but also awesome privilege. That you have the opportunity to impact and to influence a young life in a way that you didn't even imagine possible. And so know that what you do matters, what you say matters, the energy that you bring into the classroom, into the academic environment matters, because our kids, especially after post-pandemic kids, are very sensitive to energy, environment. They call it vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, super sensitive to that. So if the vibe, then they can tell, you know, if you're angry or if you're upset or if you're irritated with them. And we have to learn to manage those emotions in a way that help us to position ourselves to pour into them and fill them up with truth, with light, with hope, and with the encouragement that they need to continue to move forward in whatever they may be dealing with outside of school. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and
sir.
so I just want to encourage that you can do it. You can do it. They can, you know what I'm saying?
All things are possible.
Yeah, for real.
Everything is possible.
You know what I'm saying? Show up and let God blow it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
sir. So that's it.
All right. Well, there you have it. Straight from the one and only Ahmad Washington. Thank you, Pirate Nation, for tuning in to the Anchor Podcast. Remember to like, share, like our YouTube page, The Anchor Podcast with Dr. Brandon Hubbard. Check out the Chilton ISD social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, Pirate Nation, keep refusing to sink. Have a good day.